all I can do is press the button. My pivot foot is this foot, is my right foot here. Karl-Anthony Towns is on my right side here. Why, when I press down in circle to throw it to Karl-Anthony Towns, would he bring it this way towards the defender instead of this way towards Karl-Anthony Towns, where it's an open path? Instead, he brings it to the left. Like, that doesn't make sense. That's 2K setting me up for failure right there. That's strictly all 2K right there. All I can do is press the button. I can't control what type of way he passes the ball. Like, that's clear as day. That's fundamentals, and that's not even fundamentals. That's just simple, like, concept of, hey, I should use my right hand, especially since that's my dominant hand, to make this pass. But yet 2K decides, I'm gonna try to throw it with my left hand. I'm gonna try to throw it around the defender so that way it can go here. See, and like, as proof, he's going in for the catch animation, and my dude's hand is going this way. I don't know why the fuck you would throw it like that. That doesn't make sense. That's another reason why I'm not getting 2K20. Someone who's a great rebounder, and all he would have to do is just jump straight up to grab the rebound. Not only does he slide out of bounds, look at his arm as it clips through the backboard to grab the rebound. Actually, he catches this shit off the backboard. Like, he catches it right as it's sliding down. It hits off the backboard. He grabs it. Basically, his hand should be stopped. His hand and the basketball should be stopped right at the backboard. There's no reason for him to slide out of bounds on this. He has the rebound. He should stop. He should stop moving. But instead, what happens is the game slides him out of bounds for no real reason. As you can see, his feet slide in a very unnatural manner. There's no reason for him to slide like this. So he just very low key, he slides straight out of bounds without him really even moving. As if he's just on skates or some shit, causing an out of bounds and a turnover. And that happens quite often in this game. And here's the infamous sagging off of a player who can shoot for no real reason when the shot clock is going down. I can see this. The shot clock is at 3.5 when Steven Adams makes this pass to Evan Fournier. And you see how much distance Marcus Young is playing away from him, to where basically he can't make that contest in time because 2K, like, even though this is a great contest, because he's a computer and because 2K kind of like nerfs the computer's defense regardless of whoever he is. He could be a lockdown defender. It could be not Jamal Murray, but DeJounte Murray, I think, if I said his name right, and he's a lockdown. Hell, Marcus Young is a lockdown. He has a lockdown takeover. He has high defensive ratings. But because Marcus is playing off, as you can see, he's giving him a lot of space to catch and shoot that contest. Even though naturally this would be a good contest, this shit still goes in with ease. So that's just bad. It's bad gameplay. 13. Hell, it's longer than that actually. I think 2K11, 10 maybe. And this right here, I'll close in on it. There's another issue I have with this game. It's when the coach says that he wants to double team a certain player whenever they touch the ball, and sometimes it can be your matchup, and this can also leave like people who should not be left open. So like, we'll see if it happens. And that's what I'm talking about right there. That's exactly what I'm talking about. I made him pick up his dribble with a pump fake. There's no reason for Marcus to come over here at this point. There's no reason for it. Cause see, even if because we weren't gonna more than likely get a still animation here, or even probably not even a double team animation. animation, which was set into a jump ball in time before he makes this pass or this pass. There's no reason for this double team when I've already stopped him. He already shot the ball. Everyone should just stay on their guy. And this all happened because of that Greg Popovich call during halftime. He wants us to double team this guy just because he scored a few points and stuff. When for this particular play, I have him. There's no reason for that double team. I stopped him the entire time. Alright, I stopped him. He went and threw up this stupid ass pump fake. I had him. There's no reason for this to happen. There's no need for this. Just that double team shit. You can see we're not getting an animation there, and then they get a free dump. That's just dumb. That's not helping at all. But like the thing is, this will continue throughout the rest of the game. There's no reason for that double team. He didn't even put the ball down yet, and you're double teaming him. And like what we do with our guy or our characters. And like this is bad IQ by like the players. Like where everything is like the computers themselves don't necessarily have a feel for the game here. As you can see, I'm clearly getting double teamed at this point. Covington is rotating over to Noel. And yet, DeMar is just chilling in the corner, even though he doesn't have a good three-pointer. He does not have a respectable three-pointer at all. So you would think he would at least come up to the elbow as Noel is taking Covington downwards. He should come up here, come closer to me, but not at the three-point line. Somewhere where he can shoot the shot would be here at that elbow, where that would be his strong suit. But instead, he just chills in the corner. For him to move anywhere, I have to move the analog back, like away from him, and press square using the icon to get him to move the fuck forward when he catches it. That's the reason why he moves out. Otherwise, this pass would have either went out of bounds or he would have caught it in his corner and then just shot it and then had a low % chance of making the shot. And this happens all the time. This is usually referred to as the double team cheese, where basically it's been a shit ton of years. This has been happening since probably 2k13. It was definitely a problem in 2k14. I mean, here I was lucky that they didn't just make me pick up the ball altogether because they were on my ass. But like where like you can see there's no IQ, there's no movement here. Everyone's just kind of just standing around. Now with Murray, in a case, I guess you could say he had a little bit of IQ here to where I could probably throw it to him. But my eyes were already set on DeMar because I saw the double team coming due to me having the championship badge, which allows me to see double teams with that red circle underneath their feet. So I automatically saw that it was coming on the right side, and then I immediately saw that DeMar was open, so that was where my eyes were set on. It's just the fact that he just never fucking moved, making this a very tough pass to make in this particular scenario. This is something real small. This isn't necessarily a problem with the game. This is something that I like, actually. And you'll see me do this, actually. You'll see me do this because when I'm doing this, I'm catching the clip. I'm basically playing it through, and then I'm catching the clip with it. So basically here, you have to also remember that this is like, I don't know how many seasons in. We'll just say it's about like 5 or 6 seasons in at this point. So I'm pretty sure you watching this and myself, I don't know who the fuck this dude is. I don't know, like he ain't nobody. It's like he's nobody in the NBA currently. He's just some random dude that the game just throws into the game as is, pretty much. And basically, as I'm just sitting here waiting for this play to develop, I notice he reaches at me. So then at that point, I decided to look at my at that thing where you tap L1. And you can check basically people's takeover. You can check what they are as far as their builds are concerned if you tap L1. And this let me know that apparently this dude's a lockdown defender. which I had no idea. So I hope that in 2K20 and going onwards, as long as takeovers are in the game, they allow you to they keep allowing you to tap L1 to see everybody, see what people are, because I had no idea that this dude was lockdown. So in that regard, that's a thumbs up on 2K. Yeah, of course I gotta talk about this too. Alright. Now, on the surface, this doesn't seem like much because Murray, I don't think, is known to be a good shooter anyways, originally. But again, as I stated in most likely the clip before this one, or maybe not, maybe I threw it somewhere else, Murray here is wide open and I want him to shoot the ball here. And there's a reason for this. I'm gonna go to his stats, his 3-point stats in this. And remember, this is like 5-6 years in the future. He has an 81 open shot 3. His open shot 3 is better than mine. It's only 2 points below the average. Mine currently is a 73. And like I said, as you can see, I threw him the ball off of me getting double teamed here. And he's wide open and he does not shoot this shit. Instead, he decides to make this extra pass when he could have just taken the shot here. Alright, I mean, yeah, this pass all worked out due to just bad rotations or whatever, but that would speak more on 2K's like bad side, because there was no reason. After I made this pass, this guy right here, who is Covington, who actually is a good defender, would normally have rotated off of DeMar because he's a bad 3-point shooter. He would have rotated off of DeMar onto this backdoor cut here. Like, this pass would not have been open from a realistic standpoint. He would have left DeMar DeRozan open, especially in this particular scenario where DeMar's shooting is actually worse than what it is when you first start up the game. It's a 52 open shot 3. They'll take that. They will for damn sure take that. It's just bad IQ, defensive IQ from the computers, and them not really realizing that I'm being double teamed and that there's somebody open in the paint, that basically this would be the best shot here. Is him taking this 3-pointer, because Covington would have saw this and rotated over. He has high defensive IQ. He's a great defender. This would not be open. He would need to take this shot. And my point on this originally, let me get back to my point here, is the fact that don't give players who are not going to develop a tendency to shoot, don't have them develop a 3-pointer then. Like, don't have that RNG work that way, because then when you're on their team, if they happen to be on your team and it's a player who doesn't originally shoot in the original version of the game, they're not gonna, their tendencies are too low to where they're not gonna take this shot. It's a wide open shot for Murray to take, regardless of his slow ass jumper. He should still take this shot. It's wide open. He cannot. Fournier is not quick enough to get to this in time. This is a wide open jumper. There's no reason for him to drive and then try to kick it down here. Especially if Covington was to rotate over, because then none of us are open at this point. So again, bad IQ, and just generally bad IQ from like all the way around on this. The basketball. And now I have to point this out. And surprisingly enough, when this happened, this did not happen to me. Now it looks like here, and this happens all the time in this game especially. This was not in 2K18, that I promise you. As someone who played a lot of MyCareer, and I played a lot, and I went through screens quite a bit in that fucking game, this did not happen a lot. So it looks to me like the computer is trying to go here. He's trying to cheat the screen. But instead, the animation for the screen brings him back this way to the right, which effectively takes him way out of the play, and Lonnie ends up being open for the shot. Which this would not have happened had the game not shifted his entire animation to a side where he was not going. This happens to the player a lot. If you play MyCareer a lot, I'm sure you've seen this, and this is annoying as hell when you're going up against players like Kevin Durant or Stephen Curry when they're going around screens all the time and you're trying to go one way but the game brings you another way, effectively leading to open threes all the time. I gotta point that one out though. Oh my god, I gotta point that one out. That doesn't make any fucking sense. I hate when computers do this shit. And I forgot which 2K game was it originally where this was a problem the most. This because when it was a blaring issue the most. Was it 2K16? Where a lot of times what would happen is a computer will get open off of a screen or whatever, like it could be just a simple play, and all he would have to do is pull up right here. He's a shot creator. All he would have to do is take a leaning mid-range shot right here, and that's all it would take for him to make this shit. Instead, what he'll do is he'll do a step back, a hard step back into a contested mid-range shot now, whereas he could have just went in rhythm with a simple pull-up off of this one dribble right here, to where he could not have recovered, this other guy could not have gotten in the way in time. And this happens quite a bit with computers as well. If you notice a trend here, I'm pointing out a lot of things that are happening with the computers, not necessarily myself. And these are the things that can lead you to not score on a play that you should have guaranteed score on. When you have the right person with the ball in their hands, but they just make a dumb decision just simply because of the bad AI programming. There's a lot of this, and I don't think this shit is going to change in NBA 2K20. Alright, because I don't even think this is their primary focus. This was not in Ronnie 2K's little list. Alright, I know the game hasn't came out yet, but that does not mean that this shit will not happen. Alright, these are going to be issues again. I'm almost guaranteeing it. This is part of the reason why MyCareer is not fun to play, and there's no longevity to it. That and the story does not go on that long, or it's usually just nonsense. But that's neither here nor there. This is a simple play that we should score on, but obviously we don't due to the bad IQ and the bad programming by the 2K devs. I'll use this as a small example of a bigger point here. Basically what happens here is Marcus takes over my guy because I'm out of position, right? Now, if you remember back in the clip, which I'll show again, Marcus should have put up that switch communication, considering the fact that he's on this guy here, because I'm on his now. Alright, we made this initial switch because, again, I got out of position. He beat me to the basket. Alright, and now he's in front of me, and he took over my guy getting in the way. There should have been a switch communication that popped up on his head as it would in 2K18 at this point, just simply by the distance away from he is from his guy and me being next to his guy. But yet, this does not happen, and instead what happens is Marcus backs off of the guy with the ball, trying to recover back to this guy here, and because I'm already still there, we end up leaving the guy with the ball wide open to take this hook shot. It's a very blaring issue in this game. It's all about that communication in this game, and the timing on it is not as crisp as it was in 2K18. 2K18 does not have this problem at all. I've said this time and time and time again, and yet, I mean, I don't think it'll change. That's just bad AI programming. Huh? I'm seeming to be coming across a lot of issues in this one game alone. I'm noticing. Now, after I make this pass to Marcus, as you just saw in the clip, in the earlier clip, I get an open alley-oop. Now, how does this happen? If you pay attention to me here, he's bumping me out of bounds. He's playing me tightly, but you notice how I'm still able to kind of sneak around the back of him, and then eventually lead myself into the paint like this. You can score quite a bit of alley-oops like this, when in reality he was underneath me, and he would stay underneath me in a from a realistic standpoint. There's no reason for me to get behind him here. I just happened to slide past a bump animation that did not trigger right here, that normally would have triggered. I can't explain why this happens, but this does happen. I just kind of slide away from a bump animation. As you can see, his arm kind of just goes back instead of connecting onto me again like this. You know what I mean? If anything, he should be on me, or probably hell, keeping me out of bounds, which most likely, I don't know if that would be a foul or not, considering that it's off ball. But like, there's no way I should be getting right underneath him like this without some kind of animation or some kind of connectivity with me, like swimming his arm and then getting behind him, which would make more sense because I'm actually doing something rather than me just simply continuing to press forward and then eventually just breaking free. So if this is like, should I just call this like bad programming in terms of him knowing where I am, which this can happen, I guess. But considering how the computer usually plays on-ball defense in this game, that it just doesn't seem like at all likely. But where sometimes it almost seems like the computer can like read where I'm supposed to go, where like there's a spot on the floor, like say like I had a blue spot right here, which means that that's where the place I'm supposed to go to initiate the play. You know what I mean? Like that means I'm off ball somewhere, like standing in the corner. Sometimes the computers would just be standing right where the circle is. I'm gonna play another game, and if I happen to see it, then I'll definitely like clip it. But sometimes that'll happen when you have a defender on you when you're playing on Hall of Fame. The defender will just go. He'll be standing right where you have to go in order to initiate the play. And it's like, and that'll happen every single time, whether it be on the left side or the right side, the elbow, it doesn't matter. They'll already be standing there waiting for you. How is it that he knows our plays? I'm not sure. Okay, I understand that there's like a scouting report, potentially a quote unquote scouting report, even though a lot of times the defense does not accurately reflect that shit at all. But you see what could happen when it's like, when they're basically doing that. Basically at this point, I've already got him pretty much beat, and he's out of position, which allows the blow by for me to get the dunk. There's no reason for this double team here. There's no reason for that double team there. He didn't put the ball down yet. There's no reason for this. He just made the pass to the guy. I recovered in time. There's no need for this double team. If he wanted to, he could legitimately have thrown it here if this guy didn't cut. And actually, you know what? I'm glad I saw that, because then that gives purpose for me to record this. Because this has always been an issue where if you're getting double teamed, this is, as far as I'm aware of, this has been a problem since 2k14, where if you're getting double teamed, the guy you're initially trying to throw the pass to will cut almost, it seems scripted. He'll cut almost immediately as you try to throw him the ball here. There's no reason for him to cut into the defender. He should be looking to stay out here and like basically keep himself as an option and be calling for the ball. Like maybe like move, I don't know, maybe slightly inside just to try to get into his cone of vision, which would be basically in this area, which is the reason why he threw it to Collins over here. But like again, all starts because of this stupid double team from the left when there's no need. He has not even at least put the ball down yet. He hasn't even done that. And one, this is too far. It's too far to call for a double team. I can understand a double team if he was to dribble and I was to guide him into, say, Lonnie. Then we could probably trap this instead of Lonnie reaching in and causing a reach-in foul, when we could trap this into where he basically have his back to the basket and we could possibly cause a jump ball to happen. But instead we get this stupid double team animation and they end up scoring as a result.